Glenna Cardinal. I'm an artist and I'm a Cree from Saddle Lake First Nation and on my father's side, and I'm from Tsuut'ina Nation on my mother's side, the land that I currently live on and grew up.
I'm Seth Cardinal Dodging Horse. I'm just turned 26 years old a couple days ago. I'm an artist and musician, and I've been making art for pretty much most of my life since I could hold a pencil. Been playing music for probably over 12 years now, and I just graduated from the Alberta University of the Arts last year. This is my mom beside me, so I'm from Tsuut'ina, and my father's from Browning, Montana, Skapi Pagani.
When did your career as an artist begin?
I was in grade 1 and they gave us a project to do, and it was to create a piece of work about recycling. I started picking up things on the ground and I decided that I would make a collage. And I picked up a glove and a piece of paper and I designed a basket, and I actually won a prize for it. So, yeah, I was always making and creating things. I follow the footsteps of my grandmothers that were artists before me.
On my Tsuut'ina side, like my mom and all of my grandmas and aunts, they're all very creative people, and I grew up with all the women in my family, so I grew up making or watching them be creative. So I like to think that it comes from all, like my mom said earlier, like all of my grandmas and my aunts.
Who were your mentors or influencers, Indigenous and or non-Indigenous?
For me, um, I'd say my son. He um, reminded me not worry about what anybody else thinks about it. So I think that was really helpful. So thank you, Seth.
The one artist that I saw that really struck me that was Indigenous, that just like a couple of years ago, that has like really, that I think of as like one of the most punk rock artists, was Carl Beam. Like his whole mentality and everything was, it just reminded me a lot of like the punk bands that I listened to, even though he's kind of more from like, grew up in the 60s era and everything. So my age, that are like super into finally being able to like reclaim their language and reclaim their culture, and then also like make work that kind of deals with those struggles. So yeah.
As a Tsuut'ina Nation artist living so close to Calgary, what has that experience been like for you?
It's interesting because I used to go to school in the city, so growing up that close to the city, at the time it was still us and them, and you're on even terms, and something broke that relationship, and you're trying to reconcile and do something about it. As Indigenous people, we never had the opportunity to be part of the Calgary Public Library system and use their services. What I did for part of the CADA, they asked me what could we do for this. And again, this isn't a truth and reconciliation, it's about inclusion. So I came home and I was just like, wow, what could I do? And I finally realized that when I saw the picture of my grandmother's, and I said, I want their picture on the cards. And Calgary Public Library got on board with my idea, and we went forward with it.
For my project, I ended up making a film called Muskulicha out of footage that I shot for my project. And I think my original title for my project was Nadisnane Kawa Gute, which in Tsuut'ina means bee tent or bee teepee. For me, it was finding a lot of these connections between my own family's experience of like losing our land and having like literally the whole land destroyed for a highway, and finding photographs of my ancestors that lived on that land. So seeing how all these different things were connected. Yeah, my big advice is don't listen to white people because they say don't do this thing because of these reasons, but your gut is telling you like, you know, you don't agree with it or whatever. It's like always trust your gut, because your gut's that's you, and you know your gut knows more about you than your white teacher does. So yeah, since the pandemic, this is my first summer really not powwowing, so I really miss dancing. And yeah, I feel like it's always important to mention that dancing is a big part of my life as well as art.
For me, the pandemic time gives me an opportunity to get a lot of projects done. I just want artists to do work that makes them happy. Sometimes we don't have to go that straight and narrow path. We can just go all over and we still get the job done, kind of thing. Does that make sense?